Hi, Mark DeJesus here, and I want to talk about 5 things that fear does and how you can begin to combat it, using the story of David and Goliath as your example. I am so passionate about helping people to identify their fears and overcome them, to face them and to grow strong. Because you see, on the other side of those fears are usually where the victory lies. And one of the greatest stories that we can find in 1 Samuel 17 is the classic story of David and Goliath. You see, Goliath represents everything you're afraid of. It represents everything you're intimidated by, and it represents everything that presents itself as an impossibility. To do what? To bring resistance against you so that you do not maximize your fullest potential in life. And there's 5 key things that fear wants to do to trap you and to keep you from the destiny that is available for your life. Now, I want to make this very clear. David was not absent of fear. He was not just fearless, meaning he never had to battle fear. What David did was he acted in faith despite what fear was saying. And that's the thing that you're going to have to get equipped with in your life to go to the next level, is to understand how to move into new places while fear is still trying to talk into your life. But let's get into the 5 things. Number 1, the first thing that fear does is it seeks to strip you of your confidence, to cause you to lose your confidence. Because if you lose your confidence, you lose your sense of forward momentum, you lose your sense of vision, you lose your sense of what you're even going after. In this situation, the army lost their sense of what they were battling, what they were fighting for, and who was backing them up. So in that, they stall, they become negative, they get lethargy, and they lose that sense of strength. And most people, when they're up against fear, if they don't face it with authority, they start to lose their confidence, and they start to lose the strength that they had. So David had to challenge the people to revisit the vision of why they were there in the first place, because he proclaimed, "Is there not a cause?" And for many of you, there is a fear attacking you, and it's stripped you of your confidence and caused you to lose the vision over your life, over who you are, over your marriage, over your community, over your ministry, and over what is possible in your life. So in order to break the power of fear in this area, you've got to reestablish the vision of who you are and what you were made to do in your life. Number 2, fear causes us to avoid. And that's one of the things it hopes we will do, is get displaced, get out of the way, avoid things, get in denial, hope it's not there, pretend it's not there, pray to God, oh, make this go away. How many Christians out there, their biggest cry and prayer is, God, take this away, move this away, push this away, when really in reality what they need to do is they need to face the issue, knowing that God is with them, because in the facing the issue is where the overcoming is available. So the key to breaking this one is we got to face our fears. We got to face what we're avoiding. Number 3, fear causes immobility. One of the things it does to people is it causes a paralysis. You just freeze. When it's time to act, when it's time to go to battle, when it's time to go to the next level, there is this paralysis that kicks in where your legs can't move, your arms can't move, and you're stuck. You lose your sense of where you are, who you are, and being able to take the action that's needed in that moment. So in that, we hesitate, and in the hesitation, we stall. Then doubt creeps in, and as doubt creeps in, we lose a sense, like I said before, of confidence and of strength, and in that hesitancy, we lose the strength of what God can do in that moment. While those men stood in hesitancy in the battle, not taking action, David ran to the battle. And the way that you break this paralysis in your life, maybe it's in the form of passivity or perfectionism. You want everything right before you step into it. The solution for this is take massive action. And some of you will need to dig deep to a greater vision and why to break out of where you are and step into a new place, because you connect to the power of what's possible. Some of you may even need to get a little bit upset. You may need to stir up some holy anger inside of you that says, you know what? Enough is enough. It's time to take action. Where do you need to take action in your life where you've made excuses and you've made a list of things of why you can't or why it's not possible, and it's time to get back in the game and take action again. The fourth thing that fear does is it causes indecisiveness. You now are in a place where you don't know how to make a decision. And we live in a land of that, where people don't want to decide. They want someone else to make the decision, or they want God to make the decision. They want God to just fall on them and make something happen, or somebody else to do something to make something happen. I hate to disappoint you, but it's not the way that life works, and it's not the way that God strengthens us. He works with our decisions. He says, choose this day, life or death. Choose what you're going to live for. Choose who you're going to serve. Choose what you're going to align yourself with. And one of the things that fear strips us of is the ability to decide. We become double-minded, and then we're floating and feeling like we're in confusion. Confusion sets in, right? Because God's not the author of confusion. But when we are double-minded, we lose the wisdom of God, and we're now in two minds. You were not meant to think with two minds, only one. So when there's two, you tilt, you clash, you go boonk, and you lose your sense of where you're going. The heaviness begins to creep in. The depression begins to come in. The army stood there, but they were indecisive as to what to do. David made a decision. Today we fight. That I will face this giant with the same confidence I had with every other giant I faced in my history, and he made a decision in that moment. You need to make a decision, because many of you are a decision away from things beginning to change. You're a decision away from fear no longer being a bully in your life. Sometimes you just need to make a decision. I will not fear. And that begins to set in motion a whole new way of living. Number 5, what fear does is it causes a loss of energy. There's a sense of morale that lowers. Negativity starts to increase. Just a lot of doubt that's kicking around, and there's this loss of hope, loss of joy. And I'll tell you what happens. This is where depression kicks in. This is where heaviness kicks in. This is where this cloud of darkness starts to come in. This is where we see ourselves as victims rather than overcomers, because the very energy that you could have is sapped right out of your system, because that's what fear wants to do. If it pokes at you enough, causes anxiety enough, give you some panic attacks, give you some stressors, wear you out so that you lose your sense of confidence to break free. How can we begin to change this? Well, usually there's one fear in front of you that you keep avoiding, that you're not facing. And I find most people are one step away of facing one particular fear that's really holding them back. They're that one step away from everything changing. That one area of fear. Maybe it's a fear of rejection. Maybe it's a fear of failure. Maybe it's a fear of loss of control. Maybe it's a fear of dread that nothing's going to work out. Maybe it's a fear of loss of finances, loss of friendships, or whatever it is. There's a fear there that's driving those hesitancy, the loss of energy, your lack of confidence, and you are often facing that one fear away from everything changing. I believe that's going to be a game changer for your life. So the question is, what is the fear that's holding you back that you need to face and take your life back today? You can slay the Goliaths in your life, but it's a matter of facing him with a new level of confidence, knowing that God is with you in your steps of faith. You can do it. You don't have to be afraid, and God is with you. You can declare, like many others, I will not fear. And I'm so excited about what will manifest as you face your fears and overcome.